It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
Live. And welcome to Friday night. It is Car Con Carne. I'm James Van Alstyne. And before we begin with this here Friday night show, I do want to thank people for participating in the Chicago Readers Best of Chicago 2020 nominating process. As it stands right now, I'm nominated for Best Podcast Host in Chicago, and Car Con Carne is nominated for Best Music Podcast, which is awesome. And thank you for that. But beyond me, and I would appreciate your vote, I mentioned this on social media just a couple minutes ago. So many other nominees have appeared on Car Con Carne in months, years past. I have a whole list of other nominees who've been on Car Con Carne, candidates for Best Stand-Up Comic and Best Radio DJ, Best Blog, Best Spirit, Best Barbecue Place, Best New Band Music Podcast. Oh, yeah, nominated. I'm nominated for that too. Best Blues Artist, Drive-In Concert, Drive-In Series, Hip Hop Group. A fine list, everyone nominated. It's all local. It's a really cool thing. If you feel the inclination, go to the Chicago Readers site and cast your ballot. You don't need to vote for everything. So you don't need to be super knowledgeable about the opera scene in Chicago. You can skip those if that's not your thing, and just pick the stuff that you're into. And there are a lot of cool categories, from cannabis to live music to poetry. It's all about Chicago. That aside, Car Con Carne moves on tonight, the Friday night show. It is 9:00 p.m. as we're recording this. My guest tonight, he is Chuck Clybourne. He is, for all intents and purposes, the music project known as Surveillance, spelled 5RVLN5. It is very hard to Google, but now that you know that, you can go out and find Surveillance. Chuck, good evening. Nice to see you.
Welcome. Thanks for having me, James. Glad to be here.
I hope you're not upset by this. I think I got this right. In the description for this episode, I wrote, if you're looking for spirit-lifting celebratory music, I might suggest listening to another podcast tonight. Surveillance creates dark, hopeless, industrial sounds that feel like the regret side of a days-long bender. Am I in the ballpark?
Yeah, you're pretty close there. Yeah, it's definitely an outlet at times. So that can be weird for artists, though, to constantly use your music as therapy. So I'm kind of, as I'm writing my next album, I'm trying to think about that and be conscious of that and not do that maybe so much.
So sonically, this is, I hear industrial music. I hear hints of what I like about Skinny Puppy or Ministry. I mean, I'm sure you've heard all this stuff before, but when you said music as therapy, that's also what I'm hearing. Because to me, beyond lyrics and what you're doing on the vocal mic, these don't sound like songs so much as they feel like moods.
I really like to create atmosphere and give the music a visual. When I create songs, sometimes I'll get like visuals in my head of what that tone or that atmosphere creates, and I just try to make everything kind of cinematic like that. It comes a lot from Skinny Puppy and just listening to Pink Floyd and a lot of prog rock when I was younger. But yeah, it's I just try to create an atmospheric space that can, like if you wanted to take acid and listen to my music, there's an avenue for that there. I try to embed that into my music. So, for whatever that means to anybody, but it's fun.
What was the first album you ever bought?
Oh man. I want to say it was Pearl Jam Versus, which I don't like to admit that, to be honest, but yeah, that was the first album I physically bought myself. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to admit that? You were young.
Well, back in the day, yeah, it was a great record. Back in the day, Nirvana and Pearl Jam were kind of like, you either liked one or the other. That was the tone of it from my standing, and I was a huge Nirvana fan.
You're right. It was like the Beatles and the Stones.
Yeah. So you kind of couldn't tell people if you were a Pearl Jam fan, if you really like Nirvana, it was kind of like you're being somewhat of a sellout. So, but yeah, that was a great album. And they're still around and he's not. So,
well, and here we are. You are Chuck Clybourne. Surveillance is the project. So just under a year ago, I mean, talk about getting in right under the wire. You did a release show at Liars Club on March 12th.
Yes. That was intense. But yeah, it was a really wild time. We packed the place. There was like 3 shows going on in Chicago, like literally that night, and everyone just kind of flooded into my show, and got real lucky with that. Great turnout. Had some good friends on the bill, and we were just getting started to like go on tour, and this band's really fresh. So I've only played 3 shows with this band and 1 with a full live band. But I've been in bands before, and I'm used to playing live. But this band hasn't really found its kind of live legs yet, because we just haven't done enough. Yeah. I get a lot of inspiration from just playing out. I like to play out, and you start to get into grooves, and it becomes effortless at times if you can just do it more often, the repetition, and then you can put on a good show, and there's always bad shows, and when you have the bad shows, everything sticks out like a sore thumb, and it's a nightmare. But when you have good shows, you can't even remember it half the time, it's
right. Like, and the more you play, the more what works, what doesn't, what people actually give a shit about, what you can excise from your act, what you keep in. I mean, all that stuff. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do is play live. Like, I really wanted to get this band on the road, and just ain't gonna happen this year. So, and hope, I'm not really interested in getting out soon anyways with everything that's going on. Just trying to be safe. And it's just a bad idea to be out there right now anyway. So creation is probably the best thing for anyone to be doing if you're an artist or you want on the road. So just get your butt to work,
Well, in Chicago, historically, it's a woodshedder's town. Winter is when we kind of hole up and ply our trades. So we practice our crafts. We get to work, basically.
Hell of a place to grow up, and it's got such musical history, and the community here is amazing, and everybody looks out for each other. The metal community is like ridiculous. Like, it's a lot of really good people in that crew, and yeah, Chicago's like it's one of the greatest places ever. So, and I'm glad to be born here. So,
well, who knew as you did that record or that EP release at Liars Club, how much that EP would feel like the year we just went through? I mean, we went through a year of chaos and dissonance, and hey, you put out an EP that was chaotic and dissonant, and
thanks.
I mean, it really kind of matched what I was feeling emotionally throughout the entire year.
It's weird. I kind of take music in a sense, like I try to embed I guess like magical aspects in it or alchemical aspects into them. That's kind of why the name is spelled the way it is. I took all the vowels out. It's kind of a chaos magic type thing.
When you take all the vowels out, it looks like a Polish last name.
That's pretty cool. I'm actually Polish too, so I get that joke. My real name's Wojtek. I kid. But yeah, so it's I like it was magical. The night we played was really magical. I mean, everything kind of just worked out. And this whole album's been like that. Like everything I've wanted to do with this record and the remixes that I did, it just kind of all just fell into place. I got every person that I wanted to work on it, that I set out to work on it. Like everything just lined up. And it was stressful to do everything. Like the money to put together for this thing was ridiculous. Sure. But it all worked out. And I just kept saying, like, I'm going to have faith in the process. This is something that I'm forcing myself to do. I had a few things to say and I just wanted to get it out. I was in a band previous to this, and we made a record in 2016 called Ego Death. The band's called Faces of the Bog, and it was a pretty psychedelic record and like a doom metal album, sludge doom metal. And I just kind of wanted to have my own voice with this, So it's more me, more my own. This is 100% me, So really enjoyed this.
You mentioned remixes. I love, this is something I've always loved about this type of music, is that kind of deconstruction and reinvention.
Oh yeah.
Songs. Taking those tracks and bending them, folding them, mutilating them into something new and interesting. And specifically Funeral Song. The original is a very dark funeral dirgy kind of song. The Solemn Youth remix from last month definitely makes it more dancey and less dirgy.
Yeah, I was blown away when I heard that, because I couldn't imagine my music to like be dancing in a club. It's like it's got this gothic vibe to it. It's really cool, But yeah, that remix is sick, and every remix on here is awesome. There's another one that's kind of dancey too, so I'm all for it. Yeah, I really like having people like mess with my music and just handing stuff off, see what they do with it, and then I'm kind of bringing this back in, so when we get back to play live, we can play different pieces of each remix or do that whole song. Just it gives me more room to kind of grow as the band. I could play solo shows. I could play live shows with a full band.
Yeah.
there's a lot of avenues I can go down with this and choose different versions of a song to play if I wanted to. So
like Flesh in November, you did that. Was it four different?
Yeah.
Versions of that?
Yeah. David Bottrell and my good friend in Minnesota, Andrew Bastian, he did a song on it. And and then Adam Stilson, he produced the whole thing, but he's over at Mix for the Masses in Decade. Great producer. But yeah, David Bottrell was insane to get done. I emailed him on a whim, just seeing if he'd do it. I've listened to Tool, and I mean, there's so many records of his that I've listened to, and I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll just give it a shot, just kind of throw, shooting darts in the dark. And I thought he was going to give up on me. And about 3 or 4 days later, I got an email from his agent, and they were like, yeah, we love the song. We'd love to do it. And that was like the highlight of my career up to this point. And other than this show.
Right. Clearly.
But
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been great. And it's just really cool to see what other people do with the music. And David Bottrell, working with him, kind of opened up an avenue for me to go do that more, so I would like to work with him in the future and possibly a full album or a couple songs or something. So that door's open for me. And I like working with him. He's going to just take me up to a whole nother level as a musician, because he's just amazing, And I could tell right when I got the song, it was like, wow, this he's got it together. He really knows music, and I'd be thrilled to work with him, to be honest, again. So
no doubt. You were talking about your pre-Surveillance time in the Chicago music scene, playing other bands. And I've asked bands over the past year from the metal community who've been on the show, whether it was Veil of Maya or Huntsman, what or how welcoming the Chicago scene is to metal. Because my perception has always been that it isn't.
Yeah, I think metal has that kind of attitude. Like, we all wear black and leather jackets, and we look like we're gonna beat you up or something. But everyone's a sweetheart, to be honest. There's a lot of really good people, and the community's awesome. And I mean, there's so many guys in the scene that are they're like true sweethearts. I can't. It's crazy, but yeah, it's a really tight-knit community. You got to prove your way to get in. I think that's what Chicago does offer you. You're not just going to walk your way in here. We don't allow that, I guess. I'm not saying I'm glad to be part of it, but you've got to kind of show your worth, and you've got to be good. You got to know what you're doing, but once you're in, it's a really tight-knit community, and a lot of really great people in this city making awesome music. I mean, I was actually thinking that this was going to be a mini Seattle about 3 or 4 years ago, because there was just this mass amount of doom and sludge bands that were playing around here constantly, but with everything that goes on, I've played so many shows where, you're playing to like 3 or 4 people. The next show you might play to 50 people, but Chicago's a weird place like that too. So, and even in touring's the same way, you could show up in some state and play to nobody, everyone's dealt with that, but it's a great town. It's a great town to grow up in. Great music, great people. So, all
right. So let's look ahead for Surveillance. More remixes to come. Right?
No, I'm done with the remixes. Thank God. No offense to anyone who's worked on these, but yeah, I'm done with those.
Okay.
That nearly put me bankrupt, to be honest. But yeah, they're done now. Finally.
Covers, working on covers.
Yeah, I'm doing. This is what my kind of COVID project is. I'm going to be working on about 4 to 5 covers. Hopefully, have them recorded and put out by the end of the year. I'm not really sure how I want to release them yet. As I'm going to do them in an album or like individuals or something like that. But yeah, definitely working on that. I've got some pretty cool tracks. I don't really want to give a lot of it away, but a lot of 80s stuff. And then I'm going to be working on my next album throughout the year on the, and
That's awesome.
That. So,
well, I think, see, when I heard that you're doing covers, my first thought was, okay, this will be interesting. We'll see if I can recognize what he does to these songs or what these songs are after he gets through with them. Like the secret to a good cover to me is just completely blowing it up and making it your own. Yeah.
Almost like a remix. It's kind of how I'm looking at these, sure. And some of these songs are, one of them is an acoustic bass song, and there's no acoustic guitars in it at all. It's all drum machines and synthesizers. And I might put one of my rapper friends on it just to add another verse to it. I know it sounds weird, but he's a good dude. I'm trying to expand my, get collaborative with other people. I like working with people. That's a lot of fun because when I'm an artist, I'm a graphic designer by trade. And I've had someone sitting on my shoulder. Can you move that 2 ticks to the right? It's like, dude, just let me do my job, man. And if you're an artist, like, I'm not going to sit there and tell you how to play your instrument, or, you know, like, if I hire you to do the job, if I hire you to come work with me, I'm going to let you do what you do, because I hired you. So, or I asked you to come be part of this project. Why would I sit there and micromanage you the whole time, you know? So that's a weird thing that a lot happens in the art community, or just people. I try to really I love collaborating with people. Excuse me. And, yeah, I like just letting them do what they do with it. That's was the thing with these remixes too. I just, you know, they were like, what do you want? What direction you want me to go in? And I'm like, just do whatever you do with it. You know, like Justin Broderick, he was the one who kept asking, like, well, do you want me to do this? Cause he's got like 5 different kind of titles he remixes under. And, I just said, yeah, just do what you do. And he's like, well, you got to give me some reference. And then I gave it to him, and it was totally different than I expected. It's like falling into a K-hole or something when you listen to the song. It's very weird, and I love it, but it's like disorienting to listen to in some ways, which is cool.
I love it. And I would love to see more collaborations across the board once this fog lifts from us, and we can go out in the universe. So if people want to hear if they're thinking, hey, you know what, as I'm watching this 9/16 on a Friday night, I really want to fuck up the rest of my night. I want to be unsettled. I want to be distressed. I want to be disturbed. I want to feel nihilistic and that the world is just an empty, hopeless void. How can they discover Surveillance? We
are on Spotify at Surveillance. We have a website, 5RVLN5band.com. If you go to our YouTube page, we have a link tree in all of our videos. You can find, like, we're on everywhere: Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. So it's 5RVLN5. You might have to, it's 5RVLN5, whether we do it with spaces or not. The name's kind of weird. There's another industrial band named Surveillance. So this is kind of why I did that as well, because I didn't really feel like having to deal with, you know, getting sued later on.
Oh, no. Well, I'm really excited. I've got to do a ton of driving next week, and I haven't, for obvious reasons, I haven't had a reason to leave my house for a long time. I'm actually really looking forward to listening to a lot of your shit late at night as I'm driving.
Oh man, thank you. That's awesome.
Because this to me sounds like stuff I should be listening to in the dark when no one else is on the road. I should be driving fast and stupid. Like, this is exactly what I want to hear as I'm doing that.
Yeah, no, and I feel dumb smiling and laughing that you're saying these things. But yeah, no, I mean, the record definitely has, you know, I don't know, I've been to some dark places. I'm a pretty jolly guy for the most part, but I can obviously, you can hear it in the music. So
yeah.
But yeah, you know, the world's becoming a dystopian, crazy place these days, and I'm just trying to reflect how I view the world through my eyes, and some of it's personal, some of it's kind of my own take on certain topics, or whatever. But just trying to, you know, put something out there that's a little ominous, and you know, it's just my view of the world these days.
Speaking of the world becoming dystopian, one of my favorite quotes or stories from 2020 was the dude who's responsible for Black Mirror said, yeah, I'm not going to make any more Black Mirror for right now because there's nothing I can do that can touch what's actually happening in the real world. He's like, I'm out. Yeah.
That's terrible.
My little dystopian franchise is nothing compared to reality now. So I'm going to step back.
COVID is taking everybody out. Terrible.
Scary shit. All right. Chuck, Surveillance, thank you for doing this on a Friday. I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. Like a longtime listener, huge fan. I'm glad to be here.